Hello children, welcome to 10th standard social studies class. It is the continuation of the chapter 4 Climate of India. Children, in the earlier class you have known that due to low pressure created on the Indian mainland during summer, the winds from Indian Ocean travel to Indian mainland and bring the monsoon winds. Let us today discuss about the mechanism of the monsoon. The climate of India is strongly influenced by the monsoon winds. The sailors who came to India during olden days noticed the regular periodic reversal of winds. They used these winds to sail towards the Indian coast. Arab traders named this seasonal reversal of wind system monsoon. So children, those winds which bring the rain-bearing clouds to India are called monsoon winds. These winds were first noticed by the Arab traders who used to come to India for trading. And they used these winds to sail towards the Indian coast. They observed that when they traveled to India during the month of June, their ships easily travel towards India because of these winds. Arab traders named this seasonal reversal of wind system as monsoon. These monsoon winds form in the tropical area approximately between 20° north and 20° south latitudes. The southeast monsoon winds from the southern hemisphere carry moisture as they flow over Indian Ocean and toward the equatorial low pressure zones. After crossing the equator, these winds deflect towards the low pressure formed in the Indian subcontinent. The heating of land creates low pressure on the land mass of Indian subcontinent. Children, these winds which bring rain-bearing clouds to India are called southeast monsoon winds. They are formed in the southern hemisphere at the 20° latitudes and flow over the Indian Ocean towards the equatorial low pressure zones. After crossing the equator, they travel towards the Indian subcontinent because Indian subcontinent is created low pressure. The heating of the land has created low pressure on the land mass of Indian subcontinent, and because of this, these winds travel from the Indian Ocean towards the Indian mainland. Then they flow as southwest monsoon. The Indian peninsula divides them into two branches, the Arabian Sea branch and Bay of Bengal branch. Children, when these southwest monsoon winds arrive India, they strike to the Indian peninsular land. Then they gets divided into two branches. One branch travels through the Arabian Sea coast. It is called Arabian Sea branch. And another branch travels to the Bay of Bengal coast. That is called Bay of Bengal branch. The Bay of Bengal branch strikes the Bengal coast and southern face of the Shillong plateau. Then it gets deflected and flows westward along the Gangetic Valley. The Arabian Sea branch arrives at the west coast of India and moves northward. This Bay of Bengal branch travels through the eastern coast of India and Arabian Sea branch arrives at the western coast of India and move northward. Both the branches reach India by the beginning of the June, which is known as onset of monsoon. They gradually spread over the entire country in 4 to 5 weeks. So children, onset of monsoon to India means arrival of the Bay of Bengal branch and Arabian Sea branch towards the Indian mainland in the beginning of the June. They gradually spread over the entire country in 5 to 4 weeks, and it is expected that this arrival of these monsoon winds or southwest monsoon winds are first experienced in the state of Kerala in the first week of the June. The bulk of the annual rainfall in India is received from southwest monsoon. So children, the rainy season which starts in the June month is called southwest monsoon. A bulk of annual rainfall means a large part of annual rainfall is experienced in India from this southwest monsoon. The amount of rainfall is very high along the west coast due to the Western Ghats and in northeast India due to high peaked hills. So when this Arabian Sea branch arrives at the western coast of India, it is stopped by the Western Ghats and it makes the clouds to give a heavy rain along the western coast, and also the Arabian Sea branch which travels to northeast India is stopped by the high peaked hills and it gives a bulk of rainfall in the northeast India also. But the Tamil Nadu coast, that is called Coromandel coast, however remains dry during this season. It is because it is in the rain shadow area of Arabian Sea branch. That means this Tamil Nadu coast or Coromandel coast is in the rain shadow area because the clouds which could travel to this coast are stopped by the Western Ghats. So now this Tamil Nadu coast is in the rain shadow area. So because of this it remains dry during this season. Also, as it is parallel to Bay of Bengal branch, it cannot receive more rainfall from the Bay of Bengal branch. October-November is a period of transition from hot, wet conditions to dry winter conditions. The retreat of monsoons is marked by clear skies and rise in temperature. The land is still moist owing to conditions of high temperature and humidity. The weather becomes rather oppressive. This is commonly known as October heat. Children, in the months of October and November, there is a transformation or transition. The hot wet conditions change to dry winter conditions, and during this period skies are clear and a rise in temperature is experienced. This period is called retreat of the monsoons. That means the monsoon winds start traveling in the reverse direction and they are called northeast monsoon winds. The land is still moist because of the conditions of high temperature and humidity. The weather becomes rather oppressive. It becomes difficult to bear this heat. So this is commonly known as October heat. The low pressure conditions which once prevailed over northwestern India move far south to the center of Bay of Bengal. By early November, during this period, cyclonic depressions are common, which originates over Andaman area. The deltas of Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri are their targets. Bulk of rainfall of the Coromandel coast is derived from depressions and cyclones. So children, during this retreating monsoon period, there are lot of changes take place in the weather of India. The low pressure conditions which were prevailing during the northwest part of India, they move far south, and by the early November, a periodic cyclonic depressions are experienced over the Andaman area. So in the November month and December month also, in the south part, cyclones are common, mostly in the delta areas of Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri areas. Cyclones create lot of problems to people. A bulk of rainfall is experienced in the Coromandel coast, that is in the Tamil Nadu coast. But to the Andhra Pradesh and to the Tamil Nadu, a good amount of rainfall is experienced because of these cyclones. So, Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu coastal areas get a bulk of rainfall during this retreating monsoon. Children, you know that Indian climate is tropical monsoon type of climate. In the same way, different countries and different parts of world have a characteristic type of climate. But since many years, in different parts of the world, a comparative change in the climate is observed. These changes are causing global warming, and it is increasing temperatures worldwide. So it is a matter of concern and worry. So children, the climate change caused because of the global warming is a great concern today. Because of this, a lot of increase in the temperature is experienced in different parts of the world. So let us now discuss about this topic of global warming. This global warming is actually the result of human impacts on weather and climate. That means many human activities are contributing to this global warming. Let us see now some important indicators of the climate change which shows the effect of the global warming. Some of these indicators are shrinking thermosphere, rising tropopause, less oxygen in the air, 30 billion tons of carbon dioxide per year, nights warming faster than days, more fossil fuel carbon in coral, less heat escaping to space, cooling stratosphere, more fossil fuel carbon in the air, more heat returning to earth. So as you have seen, children, one of the important indicator of global warming is increase in the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Another indicator is less oxygen. The oxygen is decreasing in the air. and the temperature in the atmosphere is going on increasing. More and more fossil fuel carbons are found in the air. Heat is not able to escape to space, and because of this, more and more heat is returning to Earth. This creates an increase in temperature. So these are all the indicators that a climate change taking place which is creating a global warming all over the world. So children, it is the disturbance of human activities creating changes in the atmosphere is leading to the global warming. Now children, what is atmosphere? Atmosphere is the thin layer of gases which surrounds the earth. Now this atmosphere provides several benefits to us. First benefit is we get oxygen from atmosphere. Another benefit is in the atmosphere there is ozone layer. This ozone layer protects us from harmful ultraviolet rays from the sun. And nitrogen, which is found in huge quantities in atmosphere, is used by the plants to make proteins. Atmosphere is the medium through which fresh water is circulated. That means all the activities which lead to evaporation and precipitation causing rainfall are taking place in the atmosphere. Children, as you know that oxygen, ozone, nitrogen, argon, methane, carbon dioxide, etc. are the gases present in the atmosphere. Keeping us warm is one of the important function of atmosphere. Atmosphere traps the solar energy that reaches Earth and allows it to escape slowly. This is called greenhouse effect. So children, to perform this greenhouse effect by the atmosphere, some of the gases in the atmosphere helps, and because of this certain amount of solar energy is trapped in the atmosphere, and atmosphere makes the solar energy or temperature to escape very slowly to the space. So in this way atmosphere keeps us warm, keeps our atmosphere warm, and it is one important function of the atmosphere. Children, this greenhouse effect is very important and vital for life to survive on this planet. If we did not have the atmosphere, Earth would be very cold because of this lack of greenhouse effect, and life will be impossible on the Earth. So it is the greenhouse effect which makes the life on the Earth possible. But since 19th century, it is observed that temperature on many places on the Earth increased. This increase in temperature is cause of worry to the scientists all over the world. It is observed that many human activities are leading to this increase in temperature in the atmosphere. So children, as this unnatural increase in the temperature is created because of the human activities, the resulting global warming is named as anthropogenic global warming. Anthropogenic global warming. The word anthropogenic means caused by humans. Since 19th century, Earth has been warming up very rapidly. The warming has been occurring since industrial revolution and because of the human activities. So, the resulting global warming is named as anthropogenic global warming or AGW. Children, let us see some of the causes of global warming. Some of the human activities contributing to global warming are emission of greenhouse gases from industries like carbon dioxide or methane, burning of fossil fuel by humans like coal, petrol, diesel, etc. Radiation created because of nuclear or atomic activities. Release of chlorofluorocarbons. Deforestation or cutting down of the trees. Excessive use of vehicles releases much carbon dioxide, increasing the air pollution and global warming. More recently, scientists are discovering large volumes of methane under the frozen tundras of the far northern latitudes, mainly in the vast expanses of northern Russia. As global temperature increases, the ice in the tundra melts more. The methane that is trapped under the ice escapes into the atmosphere, increasing the global temperatures. In turn, this causes even more ice to melt, releasing even more methane, and so on. Methane is said to be even more powerful than carbon dioxide as a greenhouse gas. So, children, scientists have found that a lot of methane, a large amount of methane, is trapped under the lands of tundras in the North Polar region. If the global temperature goes on increasing, the ice in tundra will melt and the methane that is trapped under this ice escapes into the atmosphere, and this will increase the global temperature even more, and more ice will melt and it will release more and more methane in the atmosphere, and methane is even more powerful as a greenhouse gas than the carbon dioxide, and it will increase the global temperature. Let us see some negative impacts of global warming. Rise in killer heat waves during warmer seasons. That means because of these global warmings, we experience certain heat waves in different places which may kill many people. Rise in sea levels. And due to the melting of the glaciers, sea level rises, which will create inundation of freshwater marshlands, low-lying cities, and islands with seawater. This global warming also creates a change in the rainfall pattern, droughts and fires in some areas, flooding in other areas. Because of this global warming, extreme weather patterns are experienced. More hurricanes and superstorms are experienced in different places. This global warming causes melting of the ice caps. Because of this, a loss of habitat near the poles will be observed. significant melting of old glaciers will be a result of the global warming. The global warming also has impact on ecosystem. A massive extension of different species take place in the land and the sea. Many species will extincted because of this global warming in the land part and in the sea part. Increase in pests and disease are another result of the global warming. Spread of vector-borne diseases such as malaria to warmer regions is also one of the result of the global warming. Bleaching of coral reefs due to acidification. 1/3 of coral reefs are disappeared because of this increase in temperature because of this global warming. So children, this global warming is a matter of worry for all the countries in the world. So, an international effort to form an agreement whereby all countries try to reduce the emission of greenhouse gases has so far not been achieved. An international organization called Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change (IPCC) was formed to address this issue. So children, as this matter of global warming is a great concern and a great matter of worry for all the nations, they tried to bring an agreement for all the countries to bring down the emission of greenhouse gases. For this, an intergovernmental panel on climate change or IPCC was formed. But still now, an agreement by countries to reduce the emission of greenhouse gases has so far not achieved. IPCC has held many conferences to work out a treaty among the nations of the world to reduce AGW and try to slow down the process of climate change. None of these have been successful. The latest attempt was made at the IPCC conference in Warsaw, Poland in 2013. This has also failed to achieve any agreement. So children, many conferences took place among the nations of the world to reduce the AGW and to try to slow down this process of climate change. But any such conference or meeting was not successful. It is because in these meetings they try to decide that every nation should agree that they should cut down the use of the petrol, diesel or coal. But many nations do not agree to decrease the use of these fossil fuels. So, in one such conference held at Poland in 2013 was also a failure because the meeting could not achieve any agreement by all nations to reduce the emission of greenhouse gases and to reduce the use of the fossil fuels considerably. Because the nations are not agreeing to cut down the use of the petrol, diesel and coal, these meetings or these conferences were not successful. The disagreements between the developed countries and developing countries are the main reasons for the failure of the IPCC conferences. So children, there is a big disagreement between the developed countries and developing countries. So this disagreement is the main cause for the failure of these IPCC conferences. And because of this, a good agreement to reduce the temperature, reduce the use of the fossil fuels is not being achieved. Children, developed countries are mainly industrialized. They are economically more advanced countries of the West. And developing countries are backward and comparatively less industrialized. So children, you can see a clear difference between developed countries and developing countries is that in the developing countries, industries are less. Still, they are making the industries. But in developed countries, there are already a lot of industries. They are highly industrialized. So here, developing countries need more and more industries. So let us see what is the main disagreement between the developed countries and developing countries. The main point of argument between the developed and developing countries is about the use of fossil fuels like coal, petrol and diesel. Developed countries want developing countries to cut down on burning coal and other activities that add greenhouse gases to the atmosphere. So children, developed countries want that developing countries should use less and less coal or petrol and diesel and should see that their activities should not add to the greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. But developing countries argue that developed countries developed precisely by burning fossil fuels in their development. So here the developing countries give an argument that the developed countries could achieve the development because of burning the fossil fuels, and it is now their turn to develop. So they argue that how the developing countries will progress without burning the fossil fuels. Developing countries argue that their economic development will be seriously damaged if they don't burn fossil fuels like coal, petrol or diesel. Developing countries suggest that developed countries should do their fair share of work to help find alternatives that can help the developing countries to progress. Developing countries are suggesting that developed countries should take some steps so that some alternatives can be found out and it can help the developing countries to progress. Increase in the use of hydroelectricity, wind energy, solar energy and electricity run vehicles etc. are some of the steps taken in many countries to control pollution and global warming. Meanwhile, there are continuous international efforts to form an agreement by all countries to reduce the emission of greenhouse gases. So children, there are continuous international efforts. Meetings and conferences are conducted so that an agreement by all countries will be formed to reduce the emission of greenhouse gases. The 2015 Paris Agreement COP24 had a central aim to keep global temperature rise this century well below 2 degrees centigrade. Though a rise of 2 degrees centigrade in average temperature may appear to be small, but it would result in a rise of 1 meter in the sea level by early next century. So children, in these meetings, in the recent meetings, the scientists trying to make an agreement so that we all would make such an effort that maximum 2 degrees centigrade or less than that increase will be taking place in the average temperature. It appears very small, but you must know that 1 meter of the sea level all over the world would increase because of this 2 degrees centigrade. This would affect large portions of our coastal areas and millions of people would have to be shifted. They would lose their livelihood. The faster melting of Himalayan glaciers would disturb the livelihood of freshwater fish and folk. So children, an increase in the temperature will affect many people who are living in the coastal areas. When sea level will increase, millions of people have to vacate the places in the coastal areas. Mainly the fishermen would lose their livelihood. In the same way, melting of Himalayan glaciers will disturb the livelihood of many fishes and many fishermen. Children, the other effect of this increase in temperature would be on rainfall. Some places are likely to receive excess rainfall, whereas others would get less than normal. Hence, droughts are expected to increase. So children, due to this abnormal increase in temperature, rainfall will be affected. Some areas will receive excess rainfall and others will get less rainfall. Droughts will take place in many areas. This would greatly affect the agriculture pattern and people's livelihood. So agriculture will be affected and income of many people will be affected. Okay children, with this we came to the end of this session. See you again in the next class. Thank you.